The following podcast is brought to you by the Johners Podcasting Network, found exclusively at WrestlingWithJohners.com.
Hi, this is Brad Marcus, and welcome to another episode of Toilet Side Wrestling Talk. Today's guest, well, you can find him in Rochester, and that's in New York, in the United States on Earth. He's worked for such promotions as Upstate Professional Wrestling, Northern Tier Wrestling, Catalyst Wrestling, Nickel City Wrestling, Asylum Pro, Pro Wrestling Rampage, Empire State Wrestling, New York Championship Wrestling, and I could go on, but I won't. Share the ring with likes of Dave Bentley, Fox Vineyard, former child star Jonathan Taylor Thomas, Vinnie Moon, Megabyte Ronnie, Tommy One Shot, Matic, Jason Furious, and I could go on, and I'm not going to. So let's welcome today's guest, someone who's never visited Middle Earth purely for a vacation. I give you the crew, Elijah Cruz.
All my life, ever since I was a kid, there's always been one goal of mine. The one goal to just be able to make it out. Be the best in the world. But it's never meant to be like that. At least for me. With knee surgeries, depression, and me being so lonely in this business trying to figure it out, I lost hope. But see, if it wasn't for guys like J-Rock, if it wasn't for guys like Shane Taylor, if it wasn't for guys like Elijah Burke to motivate me by saying, Cruz, pick your head up. Prove to the people of Nickel City Wrestling that you're number one contender worthy. That you belong in the higher division. It lit a spark in me. And I'm going to do just that. That's by all means necessary. Even if I have to do it with a broken hand. See, landlord, there's one thing that's different between me and you, and that's the dedication. That's willing to see how far I'm willing to go just to be the best. Respect is earned, not given. So this Sunday, let's see who's going to really earn respect.
Hey, Elijah, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for giving me your Tuesday evening. I appreciate it.
No problem,
Well,
man.
Well, let me tell you, I'm not taking your entire Tuesday evening. I'm just going to do a small, painless portion of your evening. Okay, first thing I wanted to talk to you about, and if I wanted to ask someone about this. So that game, Indy Pro 22,
Mm-hmm.
when is this game coming out? I know that you're in it. How do you get in it?
So I think the game drops, I think next year.
Okay,
Early.
like a full year from now, or
No,
sometime in
2022.
Got it.
I don't know when officially anything about it really, because it was just like one of those things that kind of like popped up on like Facebook and everybody gets to sharing it. So I was like, well, it could be a good just a good way to spread my name out there.
Yeah.
Just try it out. But I think there was like a link or something that you could just fill out all your information with everything on there. That was it.
Do you have to like send them like pictures of yourself or video of yourself?
Yeah, we did have to send pictures of like just a good quality picture for like a profile pic. But that's all they really asked for. They really didn't ask
And
for.
they didn't send you back like a rendered video game version of yourself?
No.
Oh gosh. Okay, now you don't have to answer this question. Do you have to pay to get on, or do you get paid?
Well, the first answer to the first question is you don't have to pay to get on.
Okay.
The second question, that answer I do not know. No
Well,
idea.
like I imagine if they get like a million downloads, like there should be some money to go around, you know.
Hopefully, yeah, that'd definitely be nice.
See, they have to charge. They have to charge for the game. You know what I mean? And
Right.
that, like, you can take action. Um. Okay. Another random question. This. I'm sorry. This is about wrestling related. Is there any time that a squash match can be fun when you're on the squash end?
Mm, I personally never had one.
Okay.
Really, that was
Mm-hmm.
a squash match. I don't think that they could be fun just
There's.
because there's not a lot of storytelling going on within those type of matches.
Oh,
Just
okay.
to, it's kind of confusing how to really explain those type of matches, but
Mm-hmm.
usually those matches are quick and fast. Somebody usually gets beat up pretty
Is
bad.
it ever used as a punishment
Uh,
in general? I'm not saying anyone you've worked with or anything, but like in
I
general,
think it
is it
could be, yeah. I think it definitely
okay?
could be in a way of like a lot of different reasons for pro wrestling. It could be like a receipt type of thing, as in
Mhm.
somebody did something wrong, and now this is your receipt. Here you go. It could be a lot of different reasons why you
Okay.
watch match. Honestly, yeah.
Okay. Let's talk more. Let's talk specifically about you the rest of the way here.
Okay.
Um, do you live in Rochester?
I do live in Rochester.
And did you grow up around there?
I did. Hmm.
In like was like your mailing address Rochester, New York, growing
Yeah.
up? Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, yeah.
So what? Okay, so I've never been there. It's obvious. It's upstate. Is that right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. So how far to like the ocean? Like, do you have to drive
I want to say maybe you're saying the Lake Ontario, right?
the lake or is the Atlantic Ocean?
The Atlantic Ocean. So I would say for Lake Ontario, which is towards Canada area,
Okay.
that's maybe 2.5 hours, maybe.
Okay.
Um, and then to the
And then
actual
to the coast.
ocean, I would say to the actual ocean, you probably have to drive down to like Long Island.
Oh. Oh, so
Yeah,
it's a long way.
yeah, very long way.
Did you guys ever like when you were growing up ever go to like the beach?
I did go to the beach. Yes,
Uh-huh.
they have beaches here in Rochester,
Okay. Yeah.
but they're actually just lakes and ponds. But
Uh-huh.
I did go to the beach in Miami. I went to Virginia Beach. I've been to a couple of different ones.
Oh, okay. Just um so Rochester, what was your neighborhood like that you grew up in?
Well, with me personally, I've been the type who's just been all over the place. It's never
Okay.
been a constant home for us. So in certain parts, it was very fun. Me as a kid, it was very fun.
Okay.
We would be outside all the time, just playing in the creek, in the pond. Always adventuring off into something new each day. When I was
How would your friends describe you back then?
back then, um, hmm, probably just goofy.
Okay,
Goofy.
that's fine. That's fair. Did you have any siblings?
I do have siblings. I have one older sister and two younger siblings.
Okay. So so there's four of you.
Yes.
What's the age gap?
So I'm 21.
Mhm.
The oldest is 28, 29.
Okay.
And you got 20 and 18, 19.
Okay, so your parents kind of took care of it real quick
Yeah.
on the on the other part. So it's good to hear though that it doesn't sound like you were a mistake or anything.
No,
Like my second child, but he
really.
knows that and he's okay with it. Um, so did you have both your parents living with you?
No, they been apart for pretty much my whole life, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mine was my dad left when I was like two and change.
yeah.
Was so did you live with primarily with your mom or your dad?
It was primarily with my mom.
Okay. And
Mhm.
did you prefer that?
Mm, I wanted to prefer living with my dad
Uh-huh.
for the longest time because I just never got to know him. I was always in
Sure.
women, uh, and I always wanted like that man perspective. As me seeing
Sure.
friends with that, um, kind of was like, dang, I wish I had the same thing. So it came to be like that for a while, and then later on down the road, shit happens. But
Yeah. Did you have good relationships? Like say like with your siblings?
um, no, not really.
Oh man. So who do you like lean on then?
To be honest, nobody. Uh,
Really?
I'm more of
Are
a
you lonely?
not lonely. Just recently I got kicked out, um,
Okay.
which is like the fifth time I want to say that I got kicked out. But I just
Okay.
kind of that independent structure from the first time I got kicked out,
Sure.
and just
And but you have somewhere to stay.
yeah.
Okay, okay, good, good, good. Um, so like did you were your like friendships with people outside of your family like were those stronger than what you had with like your actual family?
Yeah, I did. I had a lot of people that were like that that would do so much things for me, that I'm truly grateful for. And
Sure.
even if we don't talk still, I'm still definitely grateful. But I had some friends that would, give me clothes, food, place to stay, gas money, help pay for my bills.
Hmm.
It's been rough, and I definitely didn't want it to go like that. But to have that was just a true blessing within itself.
Well, that's amazing considering you're only 21. Like, you did you have to grow up pretty quickly?
Honestly, yeah. I want to say I started working at like 14
Oh God.
under the table. And
Oh, really?
yeah,
Well, I mean, it's something, but it's like, yeah, you don't have to pay taxes. That's great on that.
right.
Um, but so when did so wrestling wasn't something that you like shared with your family, like when you first saw wrestling for the first time?
um, so for the first time, I wanted them to get into it because I wanted
Okay.
them to see me do it, um, versus the people on TV do it.
Okay.
That was always my biggest thing. I always wanted people to watch me because I felt like I can bring out wrestling in a different way than a lot of people who can. Um,
Hmm.
and it's just something different that my family hasn't seen at all. We never had any pro wrestlers in our family. None of that. We were all, well, majority of them were either law enforcement or fire department,
Oh
something
wow.
within that you know angle. But and I've tried to join that wagon of join the law enforcement and stuff, but it
Uh-huh.
never worked out.
Was it expected that you would do something like that, law enforcement or fire department?
I think in their eyes, it
Uh,
might have been um,
okay.
a little
Did you
bit,
ever feel pressure to do it?
not as in externally, but internally, I always had that mindset of like, man, maybe my family's like this because I don't do law enforcement or anything like that. But so definitely internally, I would say.
So like in high school, for example, what kind of student were you?
Definitely the quiet one.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
See,
definitely the quiet and tired one.
okay. Now, what I see is and tired. You said,
Yeah.
really? Why? Because you would be up late.
Yeah, I would usually be out late from watching like wrestling or just not being able to sleep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
They're
I wasn't
tired.
really a school person, so I
Uh
had no
huh.
interest on it at all.
So did you just like were you athletic in participate in sports in high school, or did you do anything like drama?
So I definitely was athletic in high school. Oh, excuse me. I done basketball, I done lacrosse, track, wrestling, football. I think
Can I interrupt you real quick?
yeah.
I've always wanted to ask someone about this. Lacrosse. Can you break your shin getting hit with a direct shot?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
really?
Hmm.
Is it I mean, do you get hit with the ball often when you're playing lacrosse?
Um,
Because it looks like the thing's going so fast. I don't know how everyone reacts.
yeah, it's very tricky,
Uh-huh.
especially because you got that little shaft and
Yeah, yeah.
but I don't think a lot of people really get hit by the ball besides the goalie. um,
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
but yeah, I don't think the rest of the players really get hit.
Okay, so
If by a mistake, but
you're not coming home with like welts
no.
constantly on you. Okay. So was your plan while you were in high school to get through high school and then join law enforcement?
Surprisingly, no.
So what
My
did you have a plan? I know I mean 16, 17, 18, it's hard to have a
my plan was always wrestling. I always wanted
really?
to be into it. I always wanted to travel. I always wanted to get more out of it. And but unfortunately, I didn't have anybody to not hold my hand, but have the guidance to be like, hey, you know what? Let's
Yeah.
go here. Let's do this. Let's work on this. So I never really had that. So I always had to be my own self motivator to
Now
to do those things.
I imagine that like if I didn't have anyone to lean on and or for advice or like when I'm starting to get down about it or something, um is that hard like mentally? Like are you aware so at that time were you aware that like god I don't have anyone to not hold my hand like you said, but
Hmm.
like kind of guide you.
It was definitely hard.
Okay.
Just because of the fact of a lot of people at my school and just my environment are not really fans of professional wrestling.
Uh-huh.
They always think of the negative ways of pro wrestling and all the
It's fake.
unnecessary things to say about it. But me being the size that I was and the shape that I was, it was kind of like embarrassing because I had a pretty good size to me, and people knew that I can lift weights, and I was a big dude,
Uh-huh.
um, and it just sucked because I wanted to take that same talent and put it in the aspect of wrestling.
And do you remember the first time you saw wrestling for the first time? I guess that
Yeah, it was so the first time. Surprisingly, my dad took me when I was way younger than I want to say. I was probably like 5 years old, maybe, but
okay.
on my birthday, he
Oh
took me on
wow.
my birthday. Yeah.
And do you like remember it vividly?
Certain parts I do.
Hmm.
Yes.
Did he take you because that's what you had asked for that you wanted for your birthday to do that, or did he just like pick up on it and thought that would be a nice thing to do for you?
Um, I can't remember really, but I all I know is that he was the one that put me on to wrestling.
Okay.
So when we did have those little moments of hanging out when I was young, that's all he would put on was wrestling, and it hooked me up to it to where I was excited to watch it all the time. And I think that's when he got the idea of, all right, well, maybe we can do this wrestling show. And he bought me a Ryback shirt.
Oh,
No, it
really?
wasn't a Ryback shirt. It was somebody's shirt. It was somebody's shirt. I think it was either John Cena's shirt or somebody. And then I had got a plastic WWE toy belt.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I never had. Well, they didn't make them at the time. Like when I was growing up, it was the LJN like rubber figures. You know, you
Mm-hmm.
couldn't move any of the parts or anything, but those were still awesome.
Right.
So at that time, not when you were 5, but as you were getting older, were you aware of like independent wrestling or just like WCW or not even, just WWE, Ring of Honor?
Just honestly, no. I did not know anything about indie wrestling. I didn't know about the levels of wrestling. I only thought that it was just WWE. I knew about Impact. I knew about ROH, but everything else I did not know about.
Okay, so this is gonna now the tale is gonna get very interesting. So then, how do you know what to do? Like you're not obviously starting in WWE. As
Hmm.
when you're looking to get into the business. How did you know? How did you know what to do, or how did you figure it out?
It was well. See, I was always that guy to always ask questions. So I was
Okay.
always that information collector. So I would ask guys, hey, well, I'll backtrack, but so
Okay.
when I was around that time getting into wrestling, there was this guy that was taking me to shows once a month, and I was training there. As I was training, I would be asking so many questions of what to do, how to improve, just kind of getting more information from my personal uh, endeavor to this hold and just kind of like um, expand. So
And how
then
old were you at that time?
I was 14.
Oh my God!
Mhm.
But you know what? That's great. So when you were in high school, did you know that? So you knew that this was gonna, when you got graduated, you were gonna get into this
I would
because you
say
already
so. Yeah,
started.
I would definitely say so because this was the only thing that I kept consistently.
Hmm.
I always wanted to keep going and going and going, and I kept doing it and training. So yeah.
So okay, so you graduate high school, or you're 18. What do you start training every day, or like does your training pick up at that point?
So it picked up. I want to say maybe 16 ish,
Oh.
17. I started training with a guy named Tiger Smith,
Mhm.
um, and we would train. I want to say Monday, Tuesday. It was either Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday,
Mhm.
or the whole week. I can't remember how the schedule went, but we were definitely training pretty much damn near every day, um,
Wow.
to the point where I was going from school to training and then right back home.
Oh, well, so
Yeah.
that's why you're tired. Like,
Hmm.
that's crazy for a 16-year-old to be able to keep that schedule.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then, in your free time, you were watching wrestling or
well,
sleeping or not
technically,
sleeping.
it would be school, workout, and then go to training, and then come right back home.
How are you getting to these places? At the time, did you have a car that you could?
Yeah. So I did have a car at the time. And then that car messed up, and then I was getting rides from students that he had,
Uh-huh.
which was nice. And then I had got a car again to continue.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And did you have to pay for this while you know, at that age, pay
Yeah.
for the training?
Mm-hmm.
And who was financing that?
Me.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Me.
Do you consider yourself as have been on your own for a while?
I would definitely say so. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like, I mean, supporting yourself, getting yourself around to all these places, knowing what you wanted to do that early in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, had you up to when you were 14 and started, had you ever been in a wrestling ring, like just for fun?
Before I got into wrestling, or
Mm-hmm.
no?
Wow.
Nope.
Was it surreal getting in the first time?
It was so nerve wracking.
Really?
It was nerve wracking in the sense of what people thought other people were thinking about me. Because I'm this new guy coming in the ring. You know, I don't want to look bad. I don't want to, put any bad juju on my head.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. How did you
but
how
yeah,
did you enter the ring?
I think I got yelled at because I didn't wipe my feet before getting in. So yeah, that was a big like, oh shoot, I messed up already.
Oh, now do you still do that?
Oh yes, I do that all the time.
Because is it like a respect thing?
Yeah, so for us, it's a respect thing of allowing us to perform in the ring, to even step foot in the ring. Um,
Uh-huh.
just kind of a way of saying thank you.
What was everything that happened kind of what you expected, or was there anything that like you had never even thought of that goes into training to be a professional wrestler?
Um, well, I
Everything?
I never expected anything to go the right way. Um,
Okay. Why is that?
I've always wanted to get more, and
Okay.
more is like the biggest focus for me. So I can't just be in one spot and learn the same thing over and over, even if I already have it down. So what I did was I wanted to get more out of training. So I went to a different place, Flower City Wrestling Academy,
Okay.
trained with those guys for, I want to say, maybe a year, 2 years.
Does your previous trainer, do they get like upset that you leave and go somewhere else to train?
It's funny that
Or they're
you
like,
said
oh,
that.
this will, add on to your skills, as a wrestler.
So yeah, they actually did get upset that I left to go somewhere else. However, I did ask permission first before leaving, and he was completely fine with it. A couple of days later, he flipped out on me, and that was the end of that. So I moved on, and
Uh-huh.
started figuring out like, yeah, this is for me and nobody else. So I got to do
Yeah,
best for me.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Um, and so was this was you said it was Flower City?
Yep, Flower City.
Is it a completely different experience from
Yeah.
how you initially trained to how they do it?
Yeah, it was way different. So they have an actual facility. They had actual training regimens, um, different exercises and stuff,
Hmm.
and which was cool to me because I was always that workout freak. So I was always down for those type of things.
Sure, sure.
On top of that, we would get into training matches, learning different phrases, different languages in pro wrestling and stuff like that. So I definitely obtained more from the last time I was training.
Uh-huh.
Um,
When you started training there, were there other people who were training there for the first time as well?
hmm,
Or are you like training with a group of people? Like
Yeah, it
who's
was with
doing various.
a group of people or students
Uh-huh.
that are students there. And I'm pretty sure there probably was guys that were first starting out or closest. Actually, there definitely was. Um,
Okay. Did you feel
however,
like you had to compete against those guys?
no, because I was already 2 years in.
Okay.
I was already 2 years in
Oh,
with,
and they were they training for the first time?
yeah.
Oh, okay. There,
Hmm.
there you go. Okay.
Yeah, so I was 2 years in already on shows.
Okay.
But I always, like I said, I still like to work out. I still want to get after it. So I was still going to training.
Hmm.
Um, and
Did you have like a shoot job at the time?
hmm yeah,
Did they know that you were a professional wrestler?
mm, I'm pretty sure they did. Yeah,
Did you tell them, or like they just kind of figured
I
it
think I
out?
told them. Yeah, because I wanted the weekends off.
Oh, nice. Oh, okay. Oh, that's all. Would they give you like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off, or you can't pull that?
Surprisingly, I would only get maybe Saturday, Friday. Yeah, it
Because
would
they
be
didn't care.
right. Yeah, they didn't
They
care.
didn't care about
This young
what you
kid,
actually
he's not
wanted to
doing
do.
We're not going to give it.
What about now? Does wherever you work now, do they know you're a professional wrestler?
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. Have they ever come to see you wrestle?
No, no.
Would you want them to?
I would love anybody that I know. I would love for them to come watch me wrestle.
All right, we're gonna get back to that then. Um, so so when you get to Flower City and you've been there for a little bit, when is your first match?
Mm, I want to
And
say,
are you like chomping at the bit to for a match at this point?
yeah, it was tricky because I want. Well, I definitely had a match within a month of being there.
Okay.
But they put me into a tag team
Hmm.
uh, that was formerly known as BEW, Black Entertainment Wrestling.
Okay.
Um, and then we ended up splitting off, and bookings kind of went down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so then like at what point I mean, so you've been training since you were 14. What point do you start hitting the road and like saying, I want, try and wrestle for this promotion, this promotion?
Mm,
And does someone guide you? Because you're still young. I mean, you're still young right now, but back then, who's
yeah.
telling you how to do this?
So this guy, that's a very good friend of mine, Joey Chaos. Um, he used to live here,
Okay.
and then he moved down to Florida. But when he was here, he would reach out to me, and he was like, "Hey, I have this booking in Ohio. I want you to come with. Are you down?" I was like, "Hell yeah, I'm down." And this was probably my first road show too. Never didn't know what to really expect, how to
S-
really introduce myself, kind of.
Like did you guys drive there
Yeah, we did it.
for like, like say over 2 hours?
I think it was like 6 hours.
So are you just like peppering him with questions the entire 6 hours?
I think I fell asleep on him.
Oh, really? Oh, God. Well, actually, yeah, you have a busy life.
No.
Um, but like, did you know like you tell you need to bring this, and when you get there, you need to go see this person.
I think usually when you go to a show, it's always bring your wrestling gear, always.
Okay,
So I already knew that off the bat. But
okay,
when we arrived there, it was just pretty much just let him talk, you know. And that's always been a rule in wrestling too.
okay.
For all of us is just keep your mouth shut, ears open, and that's always the thing that I follow by wherever I go. Um, and so that's what I kind of just put in perspective when we went there.
So with seven, you have what, 7 years already under your belt? If you started
It's
when you were
about to be 8,
14,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you feel like a veteran at this point?
It would be nice to say that, but no.
No, like you have to get up to what, like 25 years old or
I
26
would
years old?
say, well, it's kind of it's tricky. It's so
I mean,
tricky.
because you are like number wise, you're young. You're 21 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're 25, is that fair to like people to say, yeah, he's a veteran at this point?
Yeah, I don't know, because it's like guys that wrestle for like 20 years don't really call themselves veterans.
Yeah, yeah.
Even with that term veteran though, is tricky because there's guys that's been wrestling only locally and never
Uh-huh.
road that they call themselves veterans. There's guys that actually go on the road and actually put in the work. So those are the type of guys I actually call veterans. But with me being in the business for 8 years and actually wrestling for 4 years, I highly doubt that. Yeah, no.
Is there is being like what's your definition of like paying dues? Like, do you feel like you've paid them already, or you're still it's like a you're always paying dues?
I'd definitely say it's you're always probably gonna pay dues, no
Mhm.
matter who. Eh, that's just like the veteran thing. It's like a tricky thing, but I would say you
Yeah.
always pay dues, but by just helping out, help set up the ring, help with production, help with lights, help with marketing. You're always paying dues somehow, some way.
Is that fun? Like like learning all the different aspects of how a promotion runs and puts on a show.
For me, I would say yes. I'm always
Uh,
into like stuff like that and just learning how everything comes together. I love
uh-huh.
I love to ask questions. There's a fed here in Rochester, not Rochester, but in Buffalo called ESW, Empire State Wrestling,
Yeah.
and a lot of like production stuff that's just so interesting to me, and I
Oh,
love.
really?
Yeah.
So it sounds like there's a lot of things beyond just being in the ring that I mean that interest you just uh, about wrestling altogether. Are
Hmm.
there you know obviously you don't name names or else you want to, but is there any like are there other pro wrestlers who don't care if they are moving up or they're fine just being a wrestler? Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense, and I can give you a honest answer too. There are
okay,
a lot of wrestlers that are satisfied where they're at.
why is that? It's not. I mean, I can't imagine they're making a ton of money. Like, and that's why they can just kind of be there. But
Um,
isn't it a lot of time and like energy to put in and
yeah,
half-ass it?
it's a lot of time that you got to put in with just not just wrestling, but like your personal self. You got to make sure your body's up to par. You got to make sure your character is on top A1. You gotta, there's a lot, but a lot of people don't put in that work, and they don't really understand that there's more. Once somebody gets in the ring, they're like, "Oh, this is the best thing ever," and I'm satisfied. I don't got to do anything else.
Uh,
Technically, you do, but
is it hard to work with people who are like that?
some people could be egotistic in a lot of ways. Yeah.
Um, what would you say is like the most difficult part of what you do?
Mm,
Does it have anything to do with inside the ring?
I would say my stamina.
Oh, really?
Yes. I'm a mouthpiece, so I'm always like yelling and
Yeah,
make
yeah.
everybody can hear me, because that wrestling to me is more than just maneuvers and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I like to talk a lot and get the crowd in a good, comfortable position of
Uh,
laughter, enjoyment. So I yell a lot to where I'm like, oh shoot, I'm blowing up
uh,
before I even lock up.
was that easy? Was that part easy? The like being on, having a microphone in front of you.
The microphone portion, no. Without a
Okay.
microphone, yes. For some reason,
Oh,
I talking to addressing everybody as that instead of addressing everybody with a mic. If that
yeah, yeah.
so me, I'm more comfortable as soon as I get out there. My switch turns on to a whole different person that I really
Uh,
don't really know how it comes on, but it does. But I'm more comfortable as soon as that curtain hits and I'm out there. I'm just running my mouth. But as soon as that mic hits me, it might be when I first started, it was definitely rough. But now I'm fine.
um, okay, this is the question I've been waiting to ask. Have your parents slash family come to see you wrestle
One
in
time.
person? One time?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a was that a good memory?
Mm,
Or was it like they came one time and that's the last time?
yeah, it was like the one time, last time, because they always come up with excuses of it's too far or it's too much money or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, when they came the first time, I didn't know that they were going to be there. Well, I did know that we're going to be there, but it didn't feel like they were there.
Okay. So like you didn't like make eye contact with them during like
No.
the
And
match
that
or
was my
anything.
first match too. My first singles match that they came to.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Was that a big deal for you that they like, after the fact that they had come and seen that first match?
Mm, it was more. I don't. No,
Do you
no,
care anymore if they come or not?
no.
No.
This,
Have you ever tried to a girl that you were interested in or a guy, I don't know your um have you ever like brought them to a wrestling match so they could see you like you know what I mean? Like to to help you like, with a love interest to
uh,
impress them.
no, never got to bring anybody to a show to watch me.
So okay, so on the day of a show, say it's a Saturday and you have a match Saturday night. What's like? Do you do anything differently during the day that you would do on a normal day to get?
Yeah, so I would not eat all day. I'm
Why
only
is that? Aren't you like? Don't you get like weak?
nah.
So okay, so you don't eat. Your body can handle that. Go
Mm,
on.
and I just drink water, and that's pretty much it.
How early do you like get to like where like the venue is?
It depends on how far it is, but I
Uh,
like to be there at a good. I would say like 3 hours before the show, just so I can like either warm up, kind of just take in the environment of where I'm at.
sure.
I love to do that so much, just to get there before everybody else and just kind of take it in for a second.
Are there some promotions that are more fun
Oh,
to work for and then some that are more professional?
um, I would say they're combined.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would say they're definitely combined, but yes.
There's like a clear difference what makes a good promotion and what
Oh,
doesn't.
yeah, you just know by the way they set up everything, the ring
So
production.
at this point, would you consider do you consider home promotion?
No,
No, just hey, so go on. So that friend of yours from Florida that was in Florida. Did you ever consider going down there?
yeah, I was gonna move down there with him.
Yeah,
Uh,
why not?
during the time, I had so much stuff here to take care of. I had a motorcycle, had another car. I had like bills to pay and stuff like that. Like I was just to the point where I wanted to just leave without even just thinking about anything. Just pack it,
Yeah.
go. I came to those moments a couple times, but my conscience was like, you got something to do tomorrow, or what
Uh-huh.
was it?
Okay, so are you able to be proud of yourself as far as when you were 5, you were taken to a show and in 16 years you're a professional wrestler? Like do you or can you like take a step outside of yourself and say, "Oh wow, look what I did," or "Look what I'm doing"?
Yeah, I want to say that's probably my biggest accomplishment in my life
Uh-huh.
is actually taking that whole process of doing this and just continue to go with it. I met so
Uh-huh.
many people. I met so many names that I'm friends with. I'm very grateful, and it came a couple of times that I wanted to quit and get out of the business. And I just felt like it wasn't for me.
Uh-huh.
But with that, just that little story of from when I was 5 to now, it was like, man, I can't give it up. Just
Yeah.
can't.
Um, because it's amazing, especially, and I'm sorry I keep coming back to this, how young you still are. I mean, you're a kid. I'm 45 years old, so like you're just like a little kid to me. But I think that's so. Um, I always get impressed with people who are, are talented in something. I've never been like talented in any one thing,
Mm,
but like I always am so impressed, especially in your case that you are so young and that you've accomplished this big thing already by that age.
mm,
Because most people don't figure out what they want to do for maybe in their 30s and 40s even.
right.
Um, okay, are you sure you're not lonely though? Like I feel like there's part of me it's like, oh, like it seems like um you're lonely.
Uh,
Or is that just I'm reading it wrong? You have friends that you can talk to and
I mean, well, I don't talk to anybody to be honest.
uh-huh.
So in the aspect of saying lonely, I don't call it that, but
Yeah.
there's similarities within lonely and independent.
Like where you are right now, is there somebody else? Like, I mean, is there someone else that you're staying with? Like,
Oh
are
yeah,
you just
yeah.
alone in another place?
No, I stay with a roommate.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, good. Um, okay, I'm gonna let you go very soon. I'm sorry about this.
Oh no, you're good, man.
Um,
I don't do anything.
is at the end of the day, if you don't make WWE or AEW, does does that mean that you weren't successful? Like in your eyes?
Um, repeat the question one more time.
So like at like say when you're let's say in 19 years when you're 40 years old and it's say near the end of your career and if you haven't been in WWE or AEW, does that is that how you measure your wrestling career?
No, I don't think it should. I think it's just the fact of you still putting in the work of putting your body on the line, stepping between those ropes, and giving it your all. Um, even if you go to AEW, WWE,
Uh,
Impact, I mean that's don't get me wrong, it's definitely a big accomplishment
sure.
in the wrestling world. Um, but not this is the only thing that I like to live by. But every wrestling is not for everybody, you know.
Hmm.
Um, and if it is for you, put in the work. Put in the work.
Yeah.
You know.
It's good that you had this seems like a good like perspective on things from an early age about the business.
Yes. Yes.
Do you care if you win a championship or not? I mean, I know the
Um.
recognition is great, but is that a measure of anything for you?
before I won my first one, it
Mhm.
was, oh my gosh, I want to win so many belts, you know.
Yeah.
And then after I won my first one and dealt with the bull crap that I had to go with, it was just like it's not even worth it.
Oh,
It's
wow.
it's not even worth it. If it was for actual like company, uh, you know, higher up, then
Yeah,
yes, it would be worth it. But
sure.
here on indie scenes, it's just like for me personally, it's not worth it. I'd rather go and get like 500 more matches than me winning a belt.
Okay, that makes complete sense. All right, Elijah, I'm going to let you go in a minute, but if you wouldn't mind, can I ask you 5 non-wrestling related yes or no questions?
Yeah, I got an answer.
All right. Have you ever made someone cry on Christmas?
Nope.
Okay. These might be a little Christmas centric. Um, can you drink eggnog without vomiting all over yourself?
Oh yeah, I love eggnog.
Okay. Okay, good. For $1.2 million, okay, would you display like a tasteful nude painting of yourself in your home where all your guests can see it? You can't take it down, but you have $1.2 million after taxes, I might add.
Mm, nah.
Have you ever seen the movie Titanic?
Yeah.
You know how he paints her? She's like laying on like a couch or something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. Would
Something
you
like
do it
that.
for 1.2?
Maybe just because of the person I am, I might do something like that.
Okay, okay. Are you attracted to Queen Elizabeth at all?
No.
Okay. That was the correct answer. There's only one answer for that one. Is there a circumstance where you would adopt a 45-year-old man?
If he's in the situation that I was in and continue to be in,
Hmm.
I would consider it.
Now, let me get a little specific on you. A 45-year-old man who lives out of state, who can pay his own bills and stuff, um, who's just a big wrestling fan. Think about it. We'll do a second episode where you come back and you tell me if you'd like to adopt me. Spoiler alert, yes, I was talking about myself as the 45-year-old man. Apologies. Um, Elijah, thank you so much for coming on. This was it was great to hear your story. It really was. And I hope that like you recognize that you are still super young. So stay with this at least for 9 more years.
Yeah, I
I
definitely
mean,
will.
where are you do you have are you booked through the end of this year for the end of this month?
Unfortunately, no, but I do have a booking as soon as January hits the second for NYCW.
Did the Oh, nice. Did the pandemic kind of throw off like the momentum of everything?
No, surprisingly,
No.
no. No,
S-
it was
So
more
are
of
you
a.
gearing up
It was
in
more
for
of a.
2022? Are you I mean, do you plan on like trying to work every weekend?
Oh
What's
yeah.
the Oh,
The
really?
plan for 2022 is definitely to go to every company that I can,
Uh-huh.
whether it's battle royale, whether it's a match, a scramble match, extreme rules, or hell hardcore. Elijah Cruz is the man you will be seeing any and everywhere.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you. I hope you have a happy and healthy New Year, and you stay safe and everything. And hopefully, I can get you back on here in 2022.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you as well.
Thank you so much, Elijah. You take care.
You take care.
All right, bye.